Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know, we humans have this funny relationship with time. We built entire civilizations around it, measuring it with atomic clocks and carving it up into nanoseconds. We schedule our lives by it, fear its passage, and obsess over saving it. But what if I told you it's all a grand illusion? What if this thing we call time doesn't actually exist? Now I know what you're thinking. Shake, has he been hanging out with those wacky quantum physicists again? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because it turns out, the more we learn about the universe, the more this idea that time is an illusion, well, it actually starts to make a lot of sense. We're not talking about some philosophical thought experiment here. This is backed by cutting-edge physics, neuroscience, and even ancient wisdom. So, buckle up, because in this video we're diving headfirst into the mind-bending world of timelessness. We're going to dismantle the myth of time, and explore how embracing the reality of process, the constant, interconnected dance of cause and effect, energy and change, can revolutionize how you live, work, and perceive reality. Let's get to it. Let's kick things off with the big guy himself, Albert Einstein. You know him, you love him, the man who literally redefined gravity? Well, Einstein famously declared time is an illusion. And you know what? Modern physics is increasingly on board with that statement. Einstein's theory of relativity really threw a wrench into Newton's neat and tidy idea of absolute time, showing that time is far from a constant. It's relative. It slows down or speeds up depending on things like how strong gravity is or how fast you're moving. Think about it. GPS satellites, those marvels of modern technology that help us navigate our world, well, they actually have to adjust their clocks daily to account for the fact that time itself is warped by Earth's gravity. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will, but relativity is just the tip of the iceberg. When we venture into the even weirder world of quantum mechanics, things get really strange. In the quantum realm, the tiny world of atoms and particles, time as we know it seems to completely break down. Particles exist in these fuzzy, probabilistic states until they're observed, with no inherent timeline. It's like the universe hasn't decided their history until we look at them. Then there's the mind-boggling block universe theory, which suggests that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in a static, four-dimensional structure. Imagine the universe like a loaf of bread, and we're just moving through different slices of it. Time isn't flowing in this picture. We're just traveling through a pre-existing reality. So, if the very fabric of reality, from the grand scale of relativity to the quantum fuzziness of particles, suggests that time isn't what it seems, then we need to seriously reconsider our relationship with it. Okay, so maybe time isn't this fundamental property of the universe. But here's the thing, we all experience time, right? I mean, I feel it slipping away as I'm talking to you. So, how do we explain this deeply ingrained feeling of time passing if it's not really there? Well, neuroscience is starting to uncover the brain's clever tricks, how our minds essentially construct this illusion of time. You see, our brains are master storytellers. They take all the sensory information bombarding us, sights, sounds, smells, and weave them into a coherent narrative, a story we call now. But here's the catch. Our senses process information at different speeds. Light travels faster than sound, and touch takes even longer to reach the brain. So, if our perception of now relied on a real-time feed, it would be a chaotic mess. To create a seamless experience, our brains have evolved this remarkable ability to edit and synchronize these signals, creating the illusion of simultaneity. It's like a live concert where the instruments are slightly out of sync, but the sound engineer mixes them so perfectly that you perceive a unified performance. But this editing process takes a tiny bit of time, about 80 milliseconds to be precise. Experiments have shown that we actually perceive events after they've already happened. That's right, your conscious experience of the present is a slightly delayed replay, a greatest hits reel of the recent past. This lag in perception explains a whole bunch of weird phenomena, like déjà vu, where you feel like you've already experienced something. It could be that your brain is just glitching, replaying a recent experience as if it were happening again. Think about how time seems to slow down during moments of crisis. That's your brain switching gears, allocating more processing power to create a more detailed memory of the event. Let's shift gears for a moment and look outside ourselves at the natural world. What does nature have to say about this whole time thing? Look around. Seasons change in a predictable dance, stars explode and give birth to new ones, cells divide and regenerate. Notice something interesting here? These aren't markers of time marching forward, they're processes, driven by fundamental laws of physics and biology. A tree doesn't keep track of how many years it's been alive, it simply responds to sunlight, water, and nutrients in its environment. The moon doesn't consult a cosmic calendar to know when to change its phase. Its cycle is a beautiful dance of gravity and orbital mechanics. Ancient cultures seem to inherently grasp this cyclical nature of reality far better than we do today. The Mayans, with their intricate understanding of astronomy, didn't track linear time, they tracked interconnected cycles of celestial bodies. Hindu cosmology speaks of kalpas, vast cosmic cycles of creation and destruction, each lasting billions of years. Even our seemingly fundamental 24-hour day is a human construct, a convenient way to organize our lives around Earth's rotation. The universe doesn't operate on a fixed schedule, it flows in rhythms and cycles, a symphony of interconnected processes unfolding across vast stretches of space and time. So, if time is largely a construct of our minds, and nature dances to a different tune, how did we end up so obsessed with it? Well, you can thank the Industrial Revolution for that. Factory whistles, punch clocks, and the relentless demands of mass production turned time into a weapon, a tool for control and efficiency. Suddenly life wasn't about aligning with natural rhythms, it was about maximizing output within arbitrary units of time. This obsession with time has only intensified in our modern age. Productivity gurus bombard us with time management hacks, urging us to squeeze every last drop of output from our days. But what if this relentless pursuit of optimization is missing the point entirely? Burnout, anxiety, the constant fear of missing out, these are all symptoms of a society struggling to keep pace with an illusion. When we buy into the idea that time is a scarce commodity, something to be hoarded and maximized, we create a system where everyone loses. But here's the good news, there's a better way. Cultures that prioritize process over outcomes often exhibit greater well-being and creativity. The Japanese concept of Kaizen, for instance, emphasizes continuous improvement through small, incremental changes, rather than chasing after grand time-bound goals. Many indigenous societies have long understood the power of aligning with natural rhythms, prioritizing the completion of tasks over rigid schedules. When we shift our focus from managing time to engaging with the process, something remarkable happens. Work becomes less about deadlines and more about flow. Growth becomes less about hitting milestones and more about organic unfolding. Okay, so if time is a construct, a story we tell ourselves, then here's the exciting part. We can rewrite the narrative, we can choose to step out of time's grip and into a reality defined by process, purpose, and presence. Sounds good, right? But how do we actually do that? Well, here are a few ideas to get you started. First, ditch those rigid, time-bound goals. Instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds in a month, shift your focus to the process. Embrace daily habits that support your well-being, like mindful eating and joyful movement. Remember, it's not about the finish line, it's about enjoying the journey. Second, start embracing what I call quantum living. This means letting go of the need to force outcomes and surrendering to the unpredictable nature of reality. Understand that progress isn't always linear. There will be plateaus, detours, even backward steps. But that's okay, it's all part of the dance. Third, practice eternalism. Remember that block universe idea? Try to view your life as a tapestry where all moments, past, present, and future coexist. When you see your life as a unified whole, anxieties about the future and regrets about the past lose their grip. Every moment, every choice, every experience has its place in the grand scheme of things. Fourth, get back in sync with your natural rhythms. Our bodies are not designed for the relentless demands of the modern world. Pay attention to your circadian rhythm, the natural ebb and flow of your energy throughout the day. Work with it, not against it. Let the seasons guide your activities and energy levels. You know, this idea of timelessness isn't new. It's been at the heart of spiritual traditions for millennia. Buddha, for instance, taught that clinging to the illusion of time is a primary source of suffering. His concept of anicca, or impermanence, reminds us that everything is in constant flux, and our attempts to hold on to fixed notions of self and time only lead to dissatisfaction. Similarly, Eckhart Tolle, in his book The Power of Now, urges us to release our obsession with the past and future and fully embrace the present moment as the only reality. And guess what? Even Einstein, the man who revolutionized our understanding of time, recognized the profound importance of the now. He once said, People like us who believe in physics know that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. He understood that the equations of physics pointed to a reality where time was fluid and interconnected, but he also saw the value of experiencing life in the present moment. When we release the illusion of time, we open ourselves up to a profound sense of freedom. Procrastination dissolves because there's no later, only the choices we make now. So, as we've seen, time is less a fundamental property of the universe and more a story we tell ourselves, a useful tool but not a tyrant. By shifting our focus from managing time to embracing the reality of process, we reclaim our agency, our power to choose how we experience and engage with reality. Work transforms from a race against the clock into a fulfilling expression of our creativity. Growth becomes less about chasing milestones and more about the organic unfolding of our potential. Life itself stops being a finite countdown and becomes a magnificent mosaic of interconnected moments, each imbued with infinite possibility. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't have time," remember this. You have something far more valuable. You have attention, energy, and the power to choose how you engage with the eternal now. The question is, will you join the dance?